Epilogue. Everything I tell you now will seem ridiculous from the outside, I said to the teacher right from the doorway, a person on Sunday. Cross yourself, breath it out and say, thanks God. Why? The word death comes in. If it had happened otherwise, it would have been tantamount to death for you, you would have died. Why? When information comes to you from there, can you always explain why? No, so what should I do? What do you want, Alice? To erase everything. Relax, close your eyes, imagine yourself entering a cinema and sitting down in the first row. The big screen turns on, this is a color movie. You are watching yourself going to work this morning, do you see this? Now you are standing in the hall and looking at yourself sitting in the first row and watching the color movie. Now you, sitting in the first row, get up and go upstairs, to the very last one. Sit down there, the small screen turns on, black and white tape. You are watching everything that has happened to you since the moment you want to erase. Watch slowly as much as you like, only in black and white. At the same time, you are standing in the hall and looking from the side at yourself watching a non-color movie. Did you finish watching? Now start rewinding. When you reach the shot you need, tell me. I thought about where to stop and decided not to erase the shot with me in a scarlet dress and a pearl necklace. He had asked me then, what does this mean to you? I had answered a game, I had been so happy. Get up from the last row, go to the staff room, take out the tape, find the black and white fragment. Take the scissors, cut it out, glue the two pieces of the color movie tape together, before and after. Pour gasoline over the cut piece and set it on fire, throw the ashes into the wind and open your eyes. What are you feeling now? I uttered a phrase completely unexpected for myself in an imperative tone that did not allow any objections. I want that this man. The teacher interrupted me with a gesture and finished the sentence with my words. I looked at him in surprise. Alice, I see this picture as clearly as you do. This is the third time this evening that we go out into the astral tablets and see the same. Today is the fourth day, you have come on time, he said, and I felt the energy flowing through my body in a circular motion. I feel an invisible wall around me, people don't notice me, as if I don't exist. You are under a glass cap, I can't do anything with it, it's stronger than me. Recall, Alice, what you promised there before you came here. The teacher pointed to the sky with his hand. I don't know what was that, only you can remember, your contract, not mine. There was some condition, you came into the world not as ordinary people do. Of course, they also have certain tasks, but they are ordinary, and you are another. You have to do something that's not on the average person's plan. In brief, you have some kind of debt hanging over you. Until you pay it off, life won't change, and the heavenly cap won't disappear. By the way, note, the body is not eternal. If the higher forces understand that you cannot fulfill your promise in this incarnation, well, you know perfectly well what they will do to you. They don't give you earthly things to make you fulfill something heavenly. That's not all. Do you see a picture while receiving information from there? Sometimes a picture, sometimes numbers, sometimes I hear words, but now more often I know something, just feeling it, and that's all. Okay, let's say so. When you feel that at the moment there is only one option, the worst possible one, left for the development of events, do you see some picture? No, I sighed, I feel the knowledge falling from above, well, that's all. Not even in words, but like a blow to the head, and I start weeping. It rarely happens, in case of tragic losses, such as of Mom, Dad, brother, Ray, the man who was not. I feel it long before, when there are no reasons, but I already know the end. What do you do after that? I try to find other options, do something to prevent what I felt from happening. I even imagine good pictures, but I can't change anything. Well done, Alice. Do you know why it does not work? The initial information from there was received first, it registered in the subconscious and launched the program. Later you try to launch other programs, but you did not erase the first one, it goes on working. How to erase it? The picture must be burned. This information does not come as a picture. In this case, imagine a sign with words or something else and burn the incoming information with a categorical order, it will be different. After that, write down immediately the option that suits you, and the last thing. When you complete your heavenly mission, in order to find happiness, you will have to say goodbye to another reality and return to the earthly reality. How is it? I was surprised. If I knew it, the teacher sighed. I decided to swim at Nikolina Gora, my place of power, as well as to visit a distant relative, who had turned into a real yogi over time. He lived in a small house near the river. The yogi had known me since I was a year old, My grandmother the witch was his mother's second cousin. We had often come to visit them. He seemed a strange person to me. I understood absolutely nothing of what he said until I went to the church school. When I became interested in philosophy as a student, the incomprehensible words of the yogi began to clear up. 8 years before, I had finished writing a manuscript about life and death. I had been working on for about 6 years, and decided to share my joy with the yogi. The gate obediently opened and I entered the garden. It seemed like no one lived there. I bent down, walking under the branches of trees. There were thickets of uncut grass and wildflowers along the path. Rounding the house, I saw an open window in the kitchen. The yogi was having lunch. His signature dish, a salad of 40 different herbs, left a lasting impression on me. I finished the book, I said joyfully over tea. Well done, you are on the right path, he said calmly, but it took you a lot of energy. That's why I am here, this place gives me strength. I hope you remember how dangerous the path you have taken is. By the way, did nothing happen to you at the moment when you finished writing your work? Oh yes, I just wanted to tell you, that evening I entered the subway train, smiling and glowing with happiness. The train left the tunnel and was passing along the street when a passenger turned to me and asked if I knew what the house in the window was. I did not know. He got upset and asked if I knew how the gas mask had been invented. I shook my head negatively, then he asked about nuclear weapons and several more questions, to which I constantly answered no. The man sadly waved his hand at me and said reproachfully, "You don't know anything in this life." Great story, the yogi laughed, but books are not enough for you, you need a teacher. Yes, I came to you so that you tell me where to find one. No Alice, I won't tell you that. Why, I was surprised, you say yourself that I need a teacher and you have one. Once my sister asked me for the address where we were studying and I said it. She went 3 times there, but returned home without finding the right building. It was impossible to get lost and not to find it. Then my sister asked me to take her with me. She studied for a month and left. Why? She was not ready, or the teacher was not hers. It seems there will be a lot of apples this year, but, in the summer, they will fall off before they are ripe. Because of the worms, the harvest will be very poor. Moreover, all apple trees are of different varieties, each has its own apples. One apple tree cannot have several varieties at the same time, admit it. I am ready, please tell me the address. Alice, the yogi smiled. The one who is ready never asks anyone, just follows one's own path. You will meet the teacher yourself, without anyone's help. You will find each other, as they say, completely by accident. It will happen exactly when you are ready, and it will be your teacher. I got upset then, but exactly a month later I met my first teacher, and after that I became a student of Ram. About 10 in the morning I went down to the river with a steep bank, where swallows had once lived. There was not a cloud in the sky, not a soul on the shore, just the sun. The current there was strong, the water was clean. I swam along the shore, feeling myself a part of nature and so calm and at ease, as in my distant childhood, when the 3 of us had been there, me, Dad and Mom, then just me and Mom, then just me and then, someday I would not be there either, or rather, I would become everything. I lay under the sun in the grass reading a book about the creation of the world. Remembering the man who was not, I wrote to him, "It's a pity that you are not around." He replied, "I really would like to, but I was not there and I am not to be." Well, that's all, I thought, and at the same instant, something made me look towards the river. I saw Ray walking on the water, or rather, the current carried him somewhere into the distance. He was a phantom. "Ray," I exclaimed and walked along the shore, not letting him go off my gaze. "What are you doing here?" "I came to say goodbye to you." "You found the key to your door." Ray waved to me and disappeared around the bend. It seemed that I had forgotten how to weep a long time before, but tears suddenly ran down my cheeks. The sun began to bake, and I went to visit the yogi. The gate was open. I entered the garden and saw him sitting on the bench. The yogi was looking into the sky. I sat down next to him, afraid to disturb his meditation. We were silent for a long time. "I am glad you have come, Alice," he said calmly after a while, "and even more glad to see you in white clothes. I am leaving for the mountains soon, with my teacher." I smiled. "Yes, I know, you have completely reset and filled yourself with light. This trip will be the beginning of a new stage of your book of life. You will come back a different person. You don't have to tell me anything anymore. Better look at the rainbow, there is divine harmony in it. You went through all its colors, and soon, the yogi fell silent for a moment, and I looked at the sky. The rainbow really appeared there, as if he had materialized it with the power of his thoughts. Soon you will become a teacher yourself, Alice. It was past midnight. I came to the kitchen and lit the candles. She looked at me and smiled. I asked, what should I do? I need to do something important for people, for this world. Create a new document. She pointed to the laptop, and click Save As. A window appeared on the screen. I had to come up with a name. She came closer and typed with my fingers, The Book of Knowledge. What's it? I was surprised. The book you should write. I have already written my book. Your book cannot end with the void. You passed through it and were filled with light in order to climb the next step of the stairway to heaven. What should I write about? I thought you had already guessed it. She laughed. Of course, about me. Who are you? I decided to clarify just in case. I am another reality, and I am you. I am also a daughter of God, his part, possessing his characteristics, qualities, traits, properties, abilities. Therefore, I am light, I am love, I am creator. God is in me, and I am in him. Alice, don't waste your precious time, write. I took a deep breath and asked the last question of that night, what for? She went to the window, looked somewhere into the dark blue sky for a long time, and then turning around, looked at me and said with a smile so that people can find me in themselves,